Well, it's the 5th day of January 2026. Hello there, good evening, and welcome to News Tonight here on GHOne television. To come in the next hour, Ghana National Fire Service sets up committee to investigate viral video alleging assault on class media group journalists. Government condemns attacks on teachers across the country, demanding justice in Kede Senior High School assault case.
This is assault, it's criminal. You know, at least the children should have been booked, they should have been taken through the legal process, and at least, if nothing at all, they should have been bonded to be of good behavior for a period of time.
More details as President Mahama hints at a review of pay structure for public sector workers to improve welfare and enhance overall conditions of service of workers. Also in this broadcast, NDC cautions individuals campaigning to replace the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Mahama Nazar Toure, to exercise restraint and respect the sentiments of the bereaved family as he is laid to rest today.
We are not talking about any by-election now. We are mourning.
In business, Roads Minister announces disclosure of new digitalized tolling system on public roads in 2 weeks to raise revenue to complete ongoing road projects and ensure proper maintenance of road networks across the country. And later, Venezuela's Maduro tells U.S. court he's still president as he pleads not guilty to drug charges. Well, stay with me because we've got details of these stories and more coming up shortly. Well, grateful for your company this evening. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. The details now, and we begin from the central region in Kaswa specifically, where the Ghana National Fire Service has set up a committee to investigate the alleged assault on class media group journalist Samuel Ado while he was covering a fire outbreak at Kaswa New Market in the central region. Minister of State in charge of government communication, Felix Ofosukwache, described the attack as unacceptable and assured the public that firm action will be taken against the officers responsible. Now, in a statement, the Ghana National Fire Service, as you can see on your screens, has clarified that the video, which has gone viral, is rather an altercation between firefighters and a suspected thief who, along with accomplices, had attacked personnel at the fire scene and not the said journalist. Now, the service assures the public of its full cooperation with authorities to establish the facts. Well, while that is happening in the central region, let's take you up north, where the tension is actually brewing in Zebila in the Upper East region following a protest by youth from Binduri over alleged cattle theft. Now, 5 cattle intercepted on a truck under military escort have sparked investigations, raising fears of renewed unrest linked to the protracted Boko conflict.
Dozens of protesters besieged the Zebila police station on Sunday after 5 cattle were identified on a truck with registration number GR4851X under military escort. The youth accused persons from a rival enclave of stealing the animals, an allegation that has revived security concerns in the conflict-prone area. One of the cattle owners, Samuel Aburago, explains that the animals went missing on Friday, but the cattle were not immediately found.
We couldn't find about 6 of our cattle. And when we were tracing, we went to a nearby community, that is the boundary between Koyamiri and Binduri Central. That is Bangkang, the name is Bangkang. So we were able to retrieve about a few or 5 small ones, that is the cow, leaving the 6 of them. But in the late evening, somewhere 11, 12, in the midnight, one of them was able to escape back, leaving the 5. So from the 29th up to that, we were still searching. Even yesterday, I went into the Binduri Central with the help of the military escort in search of the cattle, but we couldn't find them.
The driver himself told us that it was a military man who called them. That is come and pick the cattle. That's the driver. They called him from Bolga. And he came from the Bolga and they met him at Basua, lead him to Binduri Center where the Mapuches are saying. And they sent him to the school. That is school inside Binduri. The driver said they sent him to that place. And they said these are the cattle they were to load. So they loaded the 5 cattle.
Police say the driver is assisting investigations and has mentioned a security officer who allegedly instructed him to transport the cattle.
The soldier commander himself met us yesterday in our community, Binduri, a certain community called Koyamiri. He told us that he need peace, and we told him we need peace. So why is it that today they managed to load our cows? They're stolen cows, brought them from here to Bolga.
As tensions mounted, Majority Leader Mama Yarga, along with Kusak traditional and political leaders, arrived to calm the situation.
The military or whatever who is involved is to try and make sure that the law works. But we are for peace, and peace that we stand for. For that reason, they need to behave according to the way that will promote the peace, but not to be backing the other side, to be stealing the other side, to be cattle. It don't help.
In a related incident, soldiers deployed to maintain calm were involved in a road accident while returning to Binduri. One civilian sustained injuries while a shop and 3 motorbikes were damaged. The soldiers were unharmed. Security agencies say investigations continue with patrols intensified to prevent any escalation.
Well, away from the north, the Upper East region, let me take you to the Northeast region because the Ministry for the Interior has announced a review of the curfew that was imposed on Narigu Township and its surrounding areas in the Northeast region. Now, in a statement issued on Monday, January 5, 2026, the minister said the decision was taken on the advice of the National Security Council and effected through an executive instrument. Now, under the revised directive, the curfew will now run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. effective today. Now, the government has urged chiefs, opinion leaders and residents of the area to exercise restraint amid the challenges confronting the community. Meanwhile, the ministry reiterated a total ban on the possession and carrying of arms, ammunition or any offensive weapons within Nalerugu Township and its environs. Security agencies have been directed to enforce the ban strictly with the warning that any person found in possession of such items will be arrested and prosecuted in accordance with the law. The ministry emphasized that the measures are aimed at maintaining law and order and ensuring the safety of lives and property in the area. Let's go back to our earlier story regarding the tensions that we are seeing in Zebila. We are told that some youth of the area really got angry over suspected theft of cattle in the enclave. And man on the grounds, Kasim, he is joining us with details on this matter. Kasim, thank you for joining us. So earlier, you gave us a background to the story. Where are we now as we speak?
Joshua, good evening. I can say right now, as we speak now, we have not gotten any tangible report from the police. What we understand was that the suspects who were detained got a release today. They got a bail. That security will continue to investigate to see how calm can restore in the area. You know, when it happened this way, other functions that affected side will be thinking that maybe the military or the security involved in this act are taking side. So the security are also working hard possibly to resolve this amicably, not to extend any escalation of a gun exchange and other things. But before then, there was a video circulating whereby there was one gentleman in the video. We saw him, the youth, according to the youth, came out with a video whereby we cited M16 rifle behind him when they slaughtered one cattle and they were working on it. There's a video where the M16 rifle was behind him. So now what the youth are calling is that they want the security agencies to work one to other to be able to bring that the one involved in this thing to know how they can put things together. You know, they mentioned that one security man was lead in this particular arrangement. He called a vehicle from Bolga to come. And as we speak now, we understand the military are also dealing with that matter to know why and how the whole thing happened.
So we know that indeed the military is practically dealing with the matters there. But for the benefit of those who do not know the background to this story, help us appreciate the context.
All right. So what happened was that yesterday in the afternoon around 12:30 thereabout, we had an information that a vehicle as a truck loaded 5 cattle were intercepted around Zebila police station. So the youth got there. On my way to that particular place, I got to a particular center whereby I saw many people gathered there. When we got close to the place, there was a unregistered vehicle, black vehicle, with 4 military men inside that vehicle. So they had an accident, they knocked a lady with her child and destroyed about 3 motorbikes and went and had a container, provision container by the roadside, spoiled that or destroyed that container. So upon asking why or what actually transpired, they now told us that a vehicle, a truck that you are seeing on your screen was carrying 5 cattle that belonged to a section. That is the Mamprises. There's a light out here, so you may not see my background or my face wall. But so that was what happened. So when we got there, we realized that the people in the area, that's a section of a group, you know, have the Kusasi area and we have the Mamprisi area. So if you are in the Kusasi area, you can't go to the Mamprisi area. And if you are in the Mamprisi area as well, you cannot also go into the Kusasi area. But what happens is that this is the dry season. Animals within this area are allowed to go free range. They graze wherever they can go. So on Saman Pede, that was on 29th, according to those who cattle were stolen, that these cattle left home without returning. So they made a complaint, formal complaint to the security to assist them to look for these cattle. They took them in there and they couldn't find them, not knowing that they were hiding somewhere. Till yesterday, they got information that a car was loaded with these cattle. When they intercepted them at the Zebila, they got them. These are their cattle. And according to them, this is not the only cattle they have. There were many that left home to that place. So they are expecting the rest to be released.
Well, Kasim, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we had to lose you there due to lightouts in Zebila as we speak. But the assurance is that the security is on top of the issues there, and we'll bring you updates as and when we have them from Zebila. Now, the Ashanti South Regional Police Command has foiled a planned armed robbery operation along the Antwa-Krom-Manson-Kwanta stretch following intelligence-led operations that armed suspects were preparing to attack unsuspecting commuters. Now, weapons, ammunition, and a vehicle believed to have been used by the suspects were recovered during the operation. More details now.
Acting on intelligence, the Ashanti South Regional Police Command moved swiftly to the Antwa-Krom-Manson-Kwanta stretch after receiving information that a gang of armed robbers had taken over in the Buji area, preparing to attack commuters. Upon arrival, police encountered 4 armed suspects who opened fire and attempted to flee, leading to an exchange. 2 suspects, Usmaro Mohammed and Yao Frimpong, also known as Nana Yao, sustained gunshot wounds while 2 others escaped. A search of the area led to the recovery of an AK-47 rifle loaded with 15 rounds of ammunition, a pump-action gun loaded with 4 BB cartridges, 4 spent cartridges, a bag containing 16 live rounds, and a Toyota VOXY vehicle believed to have been used by the suspects. Police say the suspects are linked to several robbery incidents in Mensah and Obuasi, leading to the Mpohogo robbery, the Enyinahini Highway robbery, and a cocoa shed robbery at Sefi. Preliminary investigations further indicate that the group operated with accomplices in Mankranso, Tamale, and Brekum, who are currently on the run. The 2 injured suspects were later pronounced dead on arrival at the Bekwai Municipal Hospital. Police say investigations are ongoing to arrest the remaining suspects and to establish the ownership of the impounded vehicle.
Now, the Inspector General of Police, Christian GHOne, has promoted 30 police officers for outstanding professionalism and bravery following 2 major security operations in the Ashanti region. The officers played key roles in intercepting thousands of rounds of assault rifle ammunition and dismantling a dangerous robbery syndicate during the Christmas season.
The promotions follow the interception of 2,600 rounds of AK-47 ammunition at the Kantanso Asankari police barrier and the disruption of an armed robbery syndicate along the Antwa Krom Manso Nkwanta stretch. During the Kantanso Asankari operation, officers conducted a detailed search of a commercial bus and uncovered concealed containers filled with live assault rifle ammunition. A separate bag hidden beneath the driver's seat contained 2 bulletproof plates, a crashed ballistic helmet, and a pair of long boots. 10 officers directly involved in the ammunition interception were promoted, while 20 others from the intelligence units of the Ashanti and the Ashanti South regional police commands were also elevated for intelligence-led operations that recovered firearms, prevented planned attacks, and protected commuters. The IGP and members of the Police Management Board commended the officers, praised their vigilance, courage, and professionalism, noting that their actions prevented dangerous weapons from falling into criminal hands. The Inspector General of Police encouraged all personnel of the police service to continue upholding the highest standards of discipline and professionalism, assuring them that hard work and exemplary service will always be recognized and rewarded.
Well, you're still watching News Tonight here on GHOne Television with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. We'll take our first break here. We'll return with more stories. Kindly stay with us. Well, thank you so much for staying with us here on News Tonight here on GHOne Television. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Now, there's an update on, I'm sure you've seen the viral video where some ladies were caught on camera really beating a 12-year-old girl, and it's on your screens currently. For those of you who have not seen that video, very worrying, disturbing video on the screens now. A 12-year-old girl in La was subjected to severe beatings by some two ladies, we're told. We see more in this particular video, but then the police have managed to arrest two. And the update on the situation is that the police say the accused persons were arraigned today and charged with conspiracy to commit, contrary to Section 23 of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, which is Act 29, assault, contrary to Section 84 of Act 29, and cruelty to a child, contrary to Section 14 and 15 of the Children's Act 1998, Act 560. Now, the accused persons pleaded not guilty to all the charges and were remanded into police custody to reappear on the 19th of January 2026. Meanwhile, police efforts are underway to arrest the third suspect, Priscilla Novishi Wonyo, aged 49, the mother of the two accused persons, who is currently at large to assist with investigations. The Accra Regional Police Command reiterates its commitment to protecting children and ensuring that persons who abuse minors are brought to justice. So the update is that the two have been charged with conspiracy to commit assault, and, of course, cruelty to a child, and those are the charges that have been leveled against the two. Meanwhile, the police is on a manhunt for a third, who is believed to be the mother of the two who have currently been arrested. She is at large, and the police say their efforts are underway to also arrest her and bring her to book. Quite disturbing, worrying to see this level of cruelty meted out to a 12-year-old girl in La. But then we'll keep an eye on it and make sure that as and when the police gives us some more updates on this development, we'll share it with you. But very sad story we're hit with on Sunday, the death of the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East and leadership of the National Democratic Congress in the Ayawaso East constituency. Now, they have called on all factions who are basically interested in campaigning to replace the late Member of Parliament, Mahama Narza Toure, to exercise restraint and respect the sentiments of the bereaved family during this very difficult period of mourning. Now, the call was made on the sidelines of the burial rites of the late MP, which brought together constituents, members of Parliament, and others who paid tribute to his service and prayed for the peaceful repose of his soul.
Sunday, the 4th of January 2026, came bearing the sad news of the demise of the late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East constituency, Nasir Toure Mahama, at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. His funeral took place today at the Kanda Mosque, where it saw several dignitaries. Speaking to the news team at his final funeral rites, the Member of Parliament for Gomua East, Desmond de Graaf, Peitu, shared fond memories of the late MP, describing him as a dedicated lawmaker who served his constituents with commitment and humility.
He was our vice chairman for the committee. To say a little about him, he's a very quiet person. He's a very reserved person, that I can say an introvert person. He doesn't talk too much. Whenever you meet with him, his smile is just a few. He talk quietly and then he move on. He's very kind and, very friendly.
Some constituents and family members also paid tribute, recounting the late MP's impact on their lives and the development of the constituency.
He knew the value of humanity and he had good social skills. We pray Allah grant him eternal rest. My shop got flooded some time ago and he gave me money to restart my business. For that alone, I pray God rewards him and grants him heaven.
He did what he could for Nima, including what was not his responsibility. May God bless him and grant him eternal rest.
Meanwhile, leadership of the National Democratic Congress in the Ayawaso East constituency has cautioned individuals who have begun campaigning to replace the late MP, describing such actions as premature. They urged all party members to show restraint and allow the family and constituency to mourn in peace. Here is former constituency chairman Olabode Williams.
I want to caution our people. It is not a time for any by-election. We are not talking about any by-election now. We are mourning, and people should know that the man who is gone, you can also go tomorrow. And for that matter, nobody, and I'm advising my colleagues, especially the foot soldiers, should stop talking about any by-election. We are not going for any by-election now. But in any case, we respect the Constitution. When it is time, and the party national executives give us the go-ahead, we'll go by it. But for now, we are mourning the late MP. So I want to advise and caution everybody to stop talking about any by-election in my constituency. It is not time. It is premature, and we are not going to accept it now.
Mahama Nasir Ture served as Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East from 2013 and was Vice Chairman of Parliament's Energy Committee prior to his demise.
Right, so we pray that Allah will grant him Jannatul Firdaus. Well, let's bring you inside. Well, on Inside Tonight, President John Dramani Mahama has thrown his full support behind the zero tolerance on violence against teachers, vowing that the law will deal firmly with perpetrators of such misconduct. This comes after some students of Kede Senior High School in the Eastern Region physically assaulted a maths teacher for allegedly not allowing them to cheat during exams. Speaking at the opening of the 7th Quadrennial and 54th Annual Delegates Conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, President Mahama reaffirmed his administration's commitment to protecting teachers and improving their working conditions and learning outcomes nationwide. Presidential Affairs Correspondent Abdul Hanan Adam reports.
The 54th Annual Delegates Conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, brought together educators from across the 16 regions of the country to reflect on key challenges confronting the profession and to chart a path towards improved teaching and learning outcomes. The conference also served as a platform for dialogue on teacher welfare, professional development, and measures to ensure a safe and enabling environment for educators. President of the association, Reverend Isaac, also declared a zero tolerance against acts of violence against teachers, warning that any repeated threats or physical harm against teachers will lead to unfavorable consequences.
We are declaring a zero tolerance for teacher assault and brutality. Should any individual or a group of people attack any teacher in Ghana without any cause, we shall invoke the spirit and solidarity of touch one, touch all. We can't sit down for individual to take the life of teachers for granted. If it happens at any local, all teachers there, please, let's rally behind the said victim. And if we have to close down the schools, we'll close down the schools.
Poor remuneration for teachers was another key concern for NAT, which demands an immediate review of the single spine salary structure.
We face an ongoing crisis regarding the condition of service where many teachers struggle with inadequate salaries that do not reflect their hard work and dedication. Your Excellency, we therefore demand the following. 1, an immediate review of the single spine pay policy. Within, Your Excellency, an immediate review of the single spine pay policy within this year to reflect your government resetting agenda.
Addressing these concerns, President John Mahama condemned the attack on the Kede SHS maths teacher by a group of students. He assured that such acts will not be countenanced, reaffirming his government's commitment to the safety and welfare of teachers.
The unfortunate thing is that the matter went to the police station, and the parents of the students went to the police and they said they settled the matter amicably. I mean, how is that? This is assault, it's criminal. You know, at least the children should have been booked, they should have been taken through the legal process, and at least, if nothing at all, they should have been bonded to be of good behavior for a period of time. And then we'll believe that justice has been done. But just for parents to come and, you know, pay a little compensation, it will encourage others to do the same. You know, and so as for assaults on teachers, I am with you 100%. We will deal with it.
To address the perennial housing crisis for teachers, the president announced a 500 million Ghana cedis allocation in the 2025 budget for a revolving teacher housing fund, with plans to increase it to 1 billion Ghana cedis in 2026.
Not to put some money in, Republic Bank will put some money in, and teachers would apply, and the houses will be built in the area that you want the house to be built. And if by coincidence the house is in your area of posting, then the money you would have paid as rent to some landlord will go to paying the cost of your own house, so that when you retire, you won't go to your grandfather's house and say, this was my grandmother's room, and go fighting with your relatives. And so we're going to work out the modalities of the housing fund. This year we're putting 500. Next year we're going to put 1 billion cedis in that housing fund.
The government is further exploring arrangements to make suitable land available in all districts to assist NAT housing project implementation. Reporting for GHOne News.
Well, still on education matters, President John Dramani Mahama has announced that the government will completely abolish the double track system in senior high schools by the end of this year through a focused intervention called the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Project. More details now, as he indicates that no senior high school will run a shift system in the country when the project is completed.
In 2025 alone, the free SHS program received 3.5 billion Ghana cedis under the GET fund. This has been the highest allocation since its inception, and this has strengthened logistics, feeding, and learning conditions in our secondary schools. I'm pleased to announce that about 100 double-track schools have already reverted to single track. And the government remains firmly committed to abolishing the double-track system entirely through a focused 2-year intervention, which we call the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Project, GSLIP. This project will improve access and quality and restore full-time schooling for all students. And so this year and next year are the implementation years. And by the time we finish implementation, there will be no secondary school implementing double-track in this country.
Right, so Divine Pay, he is an education specialist with experience in educational research, monitoring and evaluation, and education policy analyst. And he's joined us to have a conversation on the two things that President John Dramani Mahama talks about: ending the double track and also ensuring that the welfare of teachers are catered to. Divine, thank you so much for joining us, and a Happy New Year to you, my brother.
Thank you for having me, and a Happy New Year too. Good to see you in 2026.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Right. So the president talks about ending the double track system by the end of the year through the implementation of a policy that he has dubbed. Let me get the name of that policy right. He says that it would be the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Project. Now, what's your understanding about this, and how crucial will it be if we are able to indeed end double track by the end of 2026?
All right, thank you. Actually, it is at the end of 2027. The implementation starts this year. It's a 2-year program starting 2026 and supposed to end in 2027. So the Ghana Secondary Learning Improvement Program was announced in the 2026 budget with an initial budgetary commitment of 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. And this is to upgrade a number of secondary schools. Under 8, we are going to see about 50 senior high school from category A to C upgraded. And in addition to the 50 upgraded senior high school, the abandoned E-blocks will also, about 30 of them will also be completed. So it is under this initiative that the ministry wants to address the double track system that has been with us since 2017. And I'm positive, given the initial commitment of 1.1 billion budget, aside what government has allocated to GHOne, they have set aside the 1.1 billion allocated to that. It is actually encouraging. And I'm sure if government is able to see the full implementation of this within the 2 years, we'll be able to be back to the normal cycle of our senior high school academic calendar. Already, if you look at the 2025, that's last year, school placement, about 70 private senior high school have been raked in to support the free SHS implementation. What that means is that now government is posting students to those 70 private senior high schools so that it can ease pressure on some existing senior high school. And as you heard the president announced, 100 of them have already been removed. So yes, I'm sure, I'm very positive looking at all the indicators that if this 2-year program is implemented with fidelity, we'll be able to put the double track system to an end within this 2-year cycle.
Right. And will that necessarily improve educational outcomes?
Well, it's one of the factors. If we are able to ensure that learning conditions are improved, I mean the environment that learners stay into learn is improved. It's one of the steps towards improving the quality of learning in our schools. It's not the magic one that when you have addressed the double track system, then quality of secondary school education is automatically improved. But if you look at the variables that contribute to quality education, class size actually matters.
Right.
So if we are able to do away with the double track and then have more space for your learners, then the number of the students that teachers will be handling would also mean that it will reduce, which means that hand-on task when it comes to teachers' ability to target students in their classroom will also have been improved. So it's one of the puzzles, but it's not a total missing puzzle that we need. But I think we actually need that so that, you see, if you look at the 2026 academic calendar, students are going to stay in school for almost 6 months with about 1 or 2 weeks break, just because of this double track system. And it doesn't help anybody. Can you imagine being in school for 6 months? You, the learner, you are already to be tired. You, the teacher, you are going to experience burnout, and no effective teaching can happen in such an environment. So if you're able to do away with the double track, it means that coming back to the normal calendar where students stay for maximums of 3 months in school, take about a 3 to 1 month break, relax and come back well refreshed for academic work again, then to be helping to contribute to the factors that actually drive quality learning in our school. So to answer your question straightforward, it's a factor that we need to address to be able to ensure that quality learning is improving in our school. But again, that's not the only factor that are needed. We need, as you heard, the teacher motivation issues have come up strongly at the NAT event, and addressing that is very critical. Because if you in education, we talk about the most critical factor in improving quality learning is a well-trained and well-motivated teacher.
Right.
And I always say that we have done well when it comes to ensuring that our teachers' capacity is enhanced. Over the years, we've seen investment, especially the last regime, in the last 4 years particularly. We've seen a number of reforms that have happened at the front of the initial teacher training level and then also in-service level to enhance teacher capacity. And we are doing well when it comes to enhancing teacher capacity.
Right.
We need to complement that with motivating the teachers so that we just don't invest in their capacity, but once their capacity is enhanced and they are motivated, they can give their very best to our learning. So
Absolutely.
We need to address the double track system and also complement with other factors that drive quality learning in our schools.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Divine, thank you so much. I believe that we've set the foundation for further conversations on this particular matter, but grateful for your time this evening. That's Divine Pay, an education consultant as well. Now, still in the arena of education, the Coalition of Unpaid Teachers have threatened to stage another demonstration situation, and they are also considering legal action against the government over delays in the payment of salary arrears. The coalition says more than 6,000 teachers who have worked for between 12 and 15 months have been paid only 2 months' salary, where the prolonged delays worsening their cost of living pressures despite a protest organized last year. Lead convener of the coalition, Simon Kofinate, spoke on Newsroom.
September, we had a series of engagements with our employers, even as far as the Ministry of Finance and then the Controller and Accountants General Department. And so we got some results in October when we had the financial clearance to proceed with the rest of the process. So in November, those of us without the staff IDs, some of us were issued the staff IDs. We were validated for the month of November to receive our money. And nobody has given us any timeline that in this period of time we should expect our money or there should be a payment structure. We are waiting for January payments, and maybe after today's encounter with the media, something might change. If it goes the other way,
Well, you're still watching News Tonight here on GHOne Television. Let's bring you business.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Well, in business this evening, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, says operational challenges at the bulk and bagged cargo section of the Tema port remain unresolved, contrary to claims by port management that the situation has been fixed. The association says conditions at the port have worsened, describing current performance as the worst in more than 23 years. Now, FABAG reports that cargo discharge rates have dropped sharply, with vessels now discharging about 200 metric tons per day, down from an average of 2,000 metric tons. The president of FABAG, GHOne, spoke to my colleague Nadima Umar Uthman earlier on GH1 News.
The insiders of the port, even as of today, continue to describe the current situation worse in over 23 years. It hasn't happened. Port movement has been very, very slow. Vessel turnaround has been very terrible. And as we speak now, indeed, the port officials are even asking cargo owners, the bulk owner or the bulk goods owners, to bring in their own people, their own laborers to discharge the goods. The corrective measures is that if they either bring in the old labor to deal with it, or they bring in more laborers to be able to discharge the goods as they used to do. Because if you have about 30,000 metric tons of rice or sugar in the ship, and you are discharging 200 tons a day.
Well, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Gavin-Zagboja, says modalities for a digitalized tolling system on all public roads in Ghana will be announced soon, as the project is in its final stages of the bidding process. Speaking in an interview with Accra-based City FM, the minister explained that the use of digitalized platforms will boost efforts to raise revenue for completion of ongoing road projects and proper maintenance of the country's road network.
The road toll is a factor, under the purview of the highways, but now being reintroduced to be generally on all public roads. I am looking forward to a completion of that procurement process this month, and then the would-be operator will be selected, and then the public education will start on what we intend to do. And what we intend to do is that all public roads that have been engineered, that have been improved, will have a certain level of tolling on them so that we can raise revenue to complete some of the ongoing projects and also to maintain the roads. But we interface with Ministry of Transport. How do Ministry of Transport, Ministry of the Interior, because of the enforcement.
Now, an Accra-based humanitarian non-governmental organization has cleared the hospital bills for more than 100 needy mothers and clients of the South Thorn District Hospital at Sogakopa in the Volta region. My Help, Your Help Foundation also presented 50 baby hampers and assorted food items to newborn babies and their mothers in order to put smiles on their faces during the festive season. The gesture forms part of activities to mark the 7th anniversary of the NGO. Benjamin Makafui Atipo reports.
The decision by the NGO to select the Southern District Hospital for the humanitarian gesture follows disturbing reports that the non-payment of hospital bills by clients in the hospital's catchment area has become a big issue for some time now, resulting in a strain on the finances of the facility. Mr. Samuel Omega is the administrator of the hospital.
As we speak, we have not less than 100 persons who are owing bills on our records. And so that's quite frustrating for us. It's almost every day we have such cases of people who come in. Sometimes some people will say, okay, I'm going to procure some services that we don't have in this facility elsewhere and come back, and they never come back again.
It is against this backdrop that My Help, Your Help Foundation moved out of Accra to the Volta region to present a check of 70,000 Ghana cedis to the hospital management towards clearing the chunk of these bills. The NGO also presented 50 baby hampers and some food items like rice, sardines, corned beef, spaghetti and cooking oil to a lot of babies and their mothers who are still on admission at the hospital. Part of the food items, which also included 30 bags of 25 kilograms of rice, 150 bottles of cooking oil, as well as 10 boxes each of corned beef and sardines, also went to the staff of the hospital in appreciation of their contribution to the provision of quality health care to their clients. Mr. Nicholas Kofi is the president and founder of the My Help, Your Help Foundation.
This aligns with our core mandate on good health and well-being, and also aligns with the United Nations Development Sustainable Development Goal. Many women in Ghana face significant financial difficulties when giving birth, and this could lead to either delayed birth or inadequate health care, which can bring about both the mother and the baby losing their babies. So it could lead to maternal death or child mortality rate. So on this occasion, we decided to come to Sugakope District Hospital, celebrating our 7th anniversary, to donate 70,000 Ghana cedis to take care of 100 needy mothers.
The beneficiaries could not hide their joy and appreciation for what they described as a wonderful gesture in their lives.
I'm glad and I'm happy for this beautiful blessing. That my baby didn't come just like that, but came with blessings, and I appreciate. And thanks to all who support this donation. God bless you all.
We, some of us, we don't have money to buy these gifts now, so we are so grateful for the gift that you guys have given to us. We have many things in this package that I can use to take care of my baby, so I'm so grateful for it.
I was not expecting this. Like when they called me, I was not expecting this. Like, I really appreciate it. So many. The gifts it's really helped me. It's really helped me.
Well, that's it for the business. Up next is sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Still, Mensah.
Many thanks for joining me here on Sports Brief. I am Monica Bukai. Now let's get to Boeing. And Budada FC met champions of the Boeing Experience Festival football tournament held in Jasekan, an event aimed at unearthing football talents within the district. The competition attracted scouts, several players catching attention as potential prospects. Now, Sports and Recreation Minister, Honorable Kofi Idi Adams, who also doubles as the Member of Parliament for the area, expressed his delight with the quality of display, noting the abundance of talent in the constituency.
Well, it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that if this they have picked takes their training models and everything serious, they can go very far. They can go even further than those who picked them today went. And so mine is to continue to encourage them, and they themselves must work hard in their chosen career so they can go very far. We have a lot of talent in this area. When it comes to sports generally and football, we don't lack. So what we need is people who will be able to help them improve on this talent and turn it from raw to a skillful moment and improve it, and Ghana will be the biggest beneficiary. So surely they have been asked to report. Whatever they need to be able to report, we are going to support them. Whilst they are there, what they need to be able to stay on, we will support them. The foundation is interested in supporting talents.
Still in Boeing, and Black Stars assistant head coach John Painsall commended the Sports and Recreation Minister for incredible job done holding such tournament, describing it as vital platform for talent discovery. Painsall noted that Boeing is rich with promising footballers and said the festival provides a timely opportunity to identify and nurture future stars.
I think it's a fantastic program, and then this foundation, I think, is going to go a long way. Like Honorable Kofi Adams has thought about the family, the constituency is very, very important to him, the community. And he's asking the youth to come together and play football, and also bring some of us. I'm not the only coach here, only scout here, but we have a lot of coaches who have also been here. So I think it's also a motivation for the players and also the supporters. And so far, looking at the talent here is great. I mean, that's what the community want, and then Honorable is giving to them. So in all, I would say it's a fantastic project that he has started with, and we are also ready to support him to achieve his goal. I'm very, very happy. I mean, you can see the respect, the harmony, the supporters. Everybody's giving their all, which they are ready to support the project. So I'm very, very happy to also be.
Now, away from that, in the English Premier League, Manchester United has sacked boss Ruben Amorim. The club has confirmed earlier this morning. The announcement was made this morning in 24 hours after Amorim held a stunning news conference. 1-1 draw with Leeds United, in which he urged United bosses to do his job. Under 18 games, coach Darren Fletcher is set to take charge of United's trip to Burnley on Wednesday. Amorim has overseen a turbulent 14 months at United after succeeding Erik ten Hag as boss in November 2024. He won 24 of his 63 matches in charge and oversaw just 15 victories in the English Premier League. And that's all for sports. My name is Monica Bukai. Do stay tuned. We have international news up next.
In France, Venezuela's Nicolas has pleaded not guilty to drug trafficking and other charges in his first appearance at a New York court. He and his wife, Sila Flores, were seized from their Caracas compound on Saturday and flown to the United States as part of a special forces operation. Today's hearing ended with a tense exchange between a member of the public and Maduro, who said he was a prisoner of war. Meanwhile, Delcy Rodriguez has been sworn in as Venezuela's interim president before the country's National Assembly. Well, that's all we have in the package for news tonight for you here on GH1 Television. There's more news for you at starfm.com.gh. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. And many thanks to the production team led by Emmanuel Ejabin. Do have a wonderful evening.